This week's Hometown Happenings is brought to you by the Detroit Lakes School District.
All right, welcome to Hometown Happenings. This is Carol McCarthy here at Roosevelt Elementary School in Detroit Lakes, and I'm here with Detroit Lakes School Superintendent Doug Froke. Among the dignitaries today on hand at the school, we've got Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, also Senator Kent Eakin touring the school today on this first day of kindergarten, in fact.
First day of kindergarten, absolutely. We started off on Tuesday with 1 through 12, and we brought the kindergarten in today after a couple days of teachers meeting with kindergarten students and parents individually, and so we get the year started. They kind of have an idea who's in their classroom.
All right, and the tour today, of course, is not only to greet all the kids starting kindergarten today, but also to talk about, I think the Lieutenant Governor is really on a mission, along with the Governor, to push pre-K in the schools as well.
Exactly, and what's happened too with the tour is that the Lieutenant Governor called last week and asked about if they could come and tour our program. We're kind of unique across the state in that I think we're on our 15th year of all-day kindergarten. That's not the story, statewide, but needless to say, that is a big agenda item for the Dayton administration, that being one all-day kindergarten, which they provided full funding for a year ago. And then next year, we fully expect to see universal preschool for 4-year-olds coming into our system. So that's kind of what they're doing, out running around, taking a look at school districts and what's happening with respect to early education. So we're glad she came, and I hope she gets an idea of what really takes place relative to early ed in Detroit Lakes.
All right, Superintendent Froke, I'll let you catch up with the rest of the group, but thanks for speaking with me, and we'll be back with more Hometown Happenings and Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith after this. Welcome back to Hometown Happenings. Standing here with Senator Kent Eakin, who represents the Detroit Lakes area, and you are also here at Roosevelt Elementary School today, along with Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith, and you're touring the school and talking about actually touting all-day kindergarten here in Detroit Lakes.
Right, and we got a chance to visit the classes, and that was a wonderful opportunity, and had some good questions from the children, which it's always interesting getting questions from the children. So one of them was how it was when I was in school, and one of the things I remembered was that the chairs seemed to be bigger when I was younger, or maybe I was a little smaller then. But otherwise, the all-day kindergarten has really been a success in the state, and has been very popular, and it's going to really give our young students a leg up and getting ready and prepared for their future, and making sure that they're on the right track moving forward. And I think that we need to continue working on that. We all know that when you reach children at their youngest age is when you have the greatest success. And so these early all-day kindergarten classes are so vitally important for the whole rest of their future school career and their rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm. And we can talk about both ends of the spectrum, whether it's pre-K or carrying on into trade school, but it's all important, all the periphery, I guess, around kindergarten through 12th grade as well.
Right. And I think we got to, probably be thinking more along the lines of early childhood all the way through 12th grade. Tried to create a more seamless process, and also, with the colleges and universities too, so that it's a more seamless education system all the way throughout, and those transitions are easier for our students to make. And I do think that we need to be, focusing more of our efforts in providing good quality early childhood for our children. And one thing that I've been told, it was one person who was in my office once that said, maybe we should be thinking more about starting at the beginning, actually looking at prenatal care and looking at our youngest children from infancy on. And they used as an example, and they were actually lobbying on the issue of fetal alcohol syndrome, and saying it doesn't matter how much money you put in later, if you don't catch it at the beginning and prevent the fetal alcohol syndrome, you're going to be paying more money for that child for the rest of their lives to deal with the complications that result from that. So, and I thought that was a very good point to make. And so the money that we invest early on gives us the biggest bang for the buck. It really is the best, wisest investment that we can make in our communities and in our society.
All right. Well, you'll take this experience back to St. Paul and the state legislature, and I'm sure push for that pre-K funding.
I will, and I very much enjoyed our visit here today in Detroit Lakes. So thank you very much for having us here.
All right. You bet. Thank you, Senator Kent Eakin and Carol McCarthy on Hometown Happenings. We'll be back after this. All All right, welcome back to Hometown Happenings. I'm here today at Roosevelt Elementary School in Detroit Lakes with Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith. And Lieutenant Governor, first of all, welcome to Detroit Lakes.
Thank you so much. It's it feels like a fall day today. It's beautiful to be here.
Well, we cued the blue sky and white puffy clouds. So
Exactly.
just for your visit.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
it.
bet. Now you're here today in Detroit Lakes specifically to welcome all the kindergartners here today and to really, check out the all-day kindergarten that we've got going on in this city.
It's really great to come and see this program, and of course, these schools in Detroit Lakes have been offering all-day kindergarten for, I think I heard, 15 or 16 years, and so it's nothing new for them, but it's great for me to come and see it because not every community in Minnesota operates that way. Though now that we have been offering all-day voluntary kindergarten everywhere, I think something like 99.6% of Minnesota 5-year-olds are in kindergarten right now, which is just fantastic.
And so now with the all-day kindergarten up and running in the state, you're also focusing on pre-K as well, getting that going just like the kindergarten, all-day kindergarten.
Yeah, absolutely. We have been talking about how important it is that every single 4-year-old has access to a great, high-quality preschool program. And I know from talking to lots and lots of kindergarten teachers, they'll say the big difference that makes for those kids just learning how to, being ready for kindergarten. And I think a lot of parents who haven't been a lot of adults who haven't been into schools lately don't really know what that would look like. And they need to remember that those preschool programs are really appropriate and they fit for the kids. There's lots of activities, there's moving around, and it's not like they're sitting in a 9th grade desk and learning their numbers all the time.
That's right. And, in Detroit Lakes, I'm sure you've also you toured the school a little bit. We're kind of busting out at the seams.
Yes, I know it. I'm told that that's a big issue for this district where the enrollment is going up and the facilities you probably need to add to some of the facilities. So that'll be a big question for the voters this coming November, and I hope that they are willing to chip in.
All right. So you have been traveling around the state now, visiting various schools, and does that seem to be the case in this region, or in other regions as well as providing more space for kindergartners, and then obviously looking at pre-K as well, if that should come to pass?
I think it's pretty typical that school districts around the state have been able to accommodate kindergarten all day. Sometimes, like in this district, it puts some pressure on the facilities, but districts and principals and superintendents and teachers have been able to figure it out. Thinking about what preschool programs would look like in addition is, an additional concern for districts, trying to figure out how to literally make room for those 4-year-olds. And so what's really important to the governor and to me is to go and talk to superintendents and principals and understand what those issues are and figure out how we can help.
All right. Well, again, thank you for coming to Detroit Lakes. I'm sure you've got a little bit more of a visit here to tour the school, and I know that you might take in a few sites around town. We just had, actually at our library, they just installed a sculpture with a child reading a book, which is huge to start kids, as you said, reading early.
Well, I understand that there's a beautiful Carnegie Library in Detroit Lakes, which I haven't had a chance to go see yet, and I also understand that it is the 100th anniversary of the Detroit Lakes Pavilion today, so I'm going to go and see that and see what's happening there. And I don't know if I'll be able to see the Detroit Mountain Ski Resort, but I'm going to do my best. So
very good. Well, have a great time the rest of your visit.
Thanks so much. Thanks a lot.
And thanks for visiting with me, Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith and Carol McCarthy from Roosevelt Elementary School for TV3 Hometown Happenings.